Coach, no fans in the stands at Big Ten games. I'm guessing maybe family and maybe some students. I don't know that they've made a final decision, but right now, no public sales for sure. A couple games that jumped out at me, along with no fans in the stands, is Ohio State at Penn State, most likely the whiteout, and then Wisconsin at Michigan. Wisconsin at the big house, but the empty big house. Impact on the home team and impact on the visiting team.
Well, first of all, it wouldn't probably be the whiteout. It will be the whiteout. You know, that's Ohio State's game, and I played in 4 of those. And I give credit to, I told James Franklin this, that became the most difficult place I've ever coached in my career. You know, when I first got there, what was it, 2012, I believe we played at Penn State, and it was really good. And obviously the team got so good the last few years with Saquon Barkley and the talent they had on that team. And I mean, that was as loud as I've ever heard. And we had street fight games with them every game. So I always try to throw a number of points, as I don't really share with the team or my coaches, but in my mind, that is a 10-point differential when you play in that kind of game. That means you have to be on point. And first of all, remember the preparation days that drove you insane on Tuesday and Wednesday to have that music and that jet engine blowing in your ear at practice, and you have to do it. But remember, you can't make corrections at practice. So your coaching suffers that entire week, especially if you have a young team. You know, Ohio State has a veteran team, so they'll be fine. But I think that's a 10-point at Penn State. I don't think Ann Arbor's like that. I think Wisconsin, Ann Arbor are close. They're really good. But I think Penn State's a different animal.
Well, you've had vast experience in college football, obviously, and for you to say that's the most difficult that you've ever been to is a pretty big compliment for Penn State. Okay, so let's go to the home team that doesn't have that, whether it's Penn State or anyone, and you play in a basically sterile stadium. How much does that impact the home team?
Your home field advantage, you know, that's the Horseshoe's a great place, but once again, the Penn State to me is a different animal. So they're just losing that 10-point advantage. You know, I don't want to make it rocket science. That means it's going to be a scrimmage type atmosphere against a great team. So it becomes, other than the travel, and I know actually this is probably a topic for a later conversation, but some of these teams are thinking about traveling the day of, playing a game and leaving, especially if it's close. That might be a game. You get on that plane, so you don't have to stay in the hotel there. You get on the plane, you go play the game, and you go home. I know that's being, but it's going to be very sterile. It's going to be a scrimmage against a great team that you can't lose.
So, do you talk to your home team that's used to an incredible environment, and now they don't have it? I mean, what's the pitch there? We have to be more self-motivated. I mean, how much do you talk about the lack of the advantage we lost to your team before you get into the season?
Yeah, I made some mistakes in my career, and I would never want to give our staff or players an excuse. And I've made some mistakes over the years where I would talk about the crowd. I would talk maybe about the poor crowd. I would talk about, you know what, Jerry, come on, let's go. Let's go play. You handle your job. I want all focus on doing your job. Most prepared team's going to win. So I don't want to even hear about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want your coaches talking about it. Everybody do their job at your best ability, and we can win this game. And that's kind of the mentality I took down the road.
De-emphasize the crowd and play the game. If it was in the backyard, we're still going to win the game.
Eliminate all possible excuses within your organization. That's what, when we got really good and the older I got, that's what I tried to do.
All right. Appreciate it, Coach. Thanks.
Thanks, Jerry.